President Trump's border czar has said the massive immigration crackdown in Minneapolis is coming to an end. The announcement follows weeks of protests sparked by harsh tactics used by federal agents, along with outrage intensified after agents shot and killed 2 U.S. citizens. Around 3,000 federal agents deployed to the city as part of Operation Metro Surge, and now the border czar, Tom Homan, is describing it as a success.
I'm very pleased to report that this surge operation and our work here with state and local officials to improve coordination and achieve mutual goals, as well as our efforts to address issues of concern here on the ground, have yielded the successful results we have came here for.
The president has said his immigration policies will protect American jobs. Research from the Peterson Institute found his efforts aren't actually helping US-born workers, or native-born workers, as they're called. Native-born jobs have decreased in recent months as foreign-born jobs held steady. These population trends, according to our next guest, complement each other rather than compete. Jed Kolko is a senior fellow at the Peterson Institute for International Economics, also former US Undersecretary of Commerce. We need to take this a little slowly because it is complex stuff. I think you will agree. The sort of the rubric had been American jobs for American workers, and if we stop the immigrants, then Americans will get the jobs. Tell me why it's not working.
Thank you for having me here. Here's what's happened in the past year or so. The unemployment rate for native-born workers has actually gone up. It's higher than it was a year ago, while at the same time, the unemployment rate for foreign-born workers, for immigrants, has held steady or has even fallen a bit. And of course, that is the opposite of what many had expected and hoped out of this immigration policy. Now, the reason for this is immigrants and native-born workers aren't simply competing for the same jobs. Economists say that they are not substitutes, but rather they are complements. In other words, they tend to work together. So if companies struggle to hire, to find foreign-born workers, they might have to end up cutting back on their production or their hours for everybody, including native-born workers.
Is that because of a skills mismatch? The sort of theory relies that if you need a nurse or a computer person or a plumber or whatever, and you can't find one, there'll be another in the opposite job pool, but that's not happening.
When you look across native and foreign-born workers, the mix of jobs that they do is somewhat different. I mean, of course, there are jobs that you can find both native-born and foreign-born workers doing, but overall, native-born and foreign-born workers tend to do somewhat different jobs. They have somewhat different skills, and they also live in somewhat different labor markets. So there are places where there are lots of foreign-born workers and others where there are fewer. It means that immigrants are much more likely to be competing with each other for the same job rather than competing with native-born workers.
Right. Now, the argument was always, and the traditional argument has been, let's take crop picking, for example, in California or lawn mowing or whatever it might be. But the argument has always been Americans don't want to do those jobs. Native-born workers, I should put it. Native-born workers don't want to do those jobs. Therefore, that would be borne out by the theory that they are not being competition for the same jobs.
And that's one example, but it's not even necessarily not wanting to do the same jobs. It may be different skills or living in different places. Whatever the reason, for the most part, immigrants are competing more with other immigrants for the same jobs rather than with native-born workers.
So what's the answer here? Because if the national policy is to restrict immigration, and we've seen what effects that's having on labour market and on inflation and on wages, and we've seen that in the system. The Fed talks about this every time in the FOMC, the difficulties of it. If they are restricting immigration, then what is the long-term effect on the labour market?
So as you say, we're already seeing much slower job growth. Last year, we now know jobs barely grew, only at about 15,000 new jobs a month, which is a number that sounds more like a recession than normal times. But the real effect comes longer term. Immigrants contribute disproportionately to innovation, to entrepreneurship, and we've seen a lot of productivity growth, a lot of new patents, really a lot of the contributors for long-term economic growth, thanks to immigrants. And if immigration is much rarer, that slows down. That does long-term harm to U.S. economic growth. It also hurts the federal budget. Numerous studies, including the Congressional Budget Office, have found that immigrants pay more in taxes than they take in government services. And with fewer immigrants, the federal budget picture gets worse. Those are the two longer-term effects that really do harm to the U.S. economy.
I'm grateful, sir. Thank you for taking time to talk to us. We'll talk more. Thank you.